So this week I really want to clean out both of my tanks here. I have one problem, I've got a tadpole left, so we're going to have to put him back into the pond because I need that tank. So the frog tank here, you can see there's a load of crickets in there which have probably crawled under the substrate and probably drowned or died of things. So it's going quite messy. I need to clean that out. The water bowl there definitely has a load of grit and stuff in there, so that needs to be cleaned out. And I want to replace the entire substrate and the moss with brand new stuff, so they can look really nice clean stuff. Also, we have some frogs which are smaller than the other ones, and I have a feeling that some of them are getting quite big. I have a feeling that the bigger ones are sort of being a bit dominant and they're getting to the food first, and some of the smaller ones maybe aren't quite getting as much food as they need to. So what I want to do is to separate out these smaller frogs and put them into the second tank, which is over here, which is looking absolutely disgusting now. Interestingly enough, we still have the you can see there's swimming around the mosquito larvae. Some of them are beginning to hatch out. I'm not too sure how well you can see that. Right in the centre of the screen right there is a mosquito that's now hatching out. We don't want that to happen too much because we don't want to get bitten, so I want to get rid of everything that's in this tank. So I'm going to clean out all the gravel, get rid of all this mosquito larvae. The plants aren't going to be any more use to me, so I'm going to get rid of those. I want to clean this out completely and set it up exactly like this tank is, and I want to take these smaller frogs and we're going to place them in this tank so that we can separate out the frogs, so there's less competition for the food, and we can make sure that the frogs are getting all the food that they need to. So see if we can find him. There is one tadpole left in this. There he is, right at the back there. He's just not developing as fast as the other ones. He's just about got back legs now. But what I'm going to do is going to catch him. We're going to take him back to the pond, release him into the pond where we got him from, and then we can clean out these tanks. Now before we go, I'm not too sure how difficult that or how easy that is to see, but that cricket there is actually molting. You might just about be able to see there's a skin there which is crawling out of, so he's actually grown, he's a bit bigger than he was. He's very vulnerable right now. The frogs should probably go and get him, but he's maybe not moving around as much as he needs to attract our attention. I'm not too sure how well you can see. I'll put the magnifying glass in front, maybe if I take that away, see what the focus is like. I wish I had a better camera than this. Oh, there we go, that's probably better actually. There we go, that's a clearer picture. Yeah, so you can see he's crawling out, his skin there is just over the edge where that bit of bark is, and he's crawling out, he's almost out. Oh, you can see there's a frog coming, he's noticed the other one. I don't know whether we can get any action while we're here. I kind of feel sad for them really, but unfortunately with the frogs you have to feed them live food, there is no way around it. Frogs will only go for things that are moving. They will not eat dead food because much like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, their vision's based on movement. They will only see things that move around. What's this guy spotted? We spotted something on here. Let's move back a little bit. And we'll see whether we can get a live capture. Really, I'll notice that one that's coming out. As you see, they're not moving, so he hasn't seen them. When they do move like that, maybe he'll see one. There you go, so that one's moving and he turned his head to see. They seem very slow to react, I must say. They kind of stare at something for a long time, and then by the time they've figured out whether something's there or not, they've gone. But there we go, he's fully out. Is he fully out of his skin? Yeah, he's completely emerged from his skin there. So that was really fascinating. I think I did manage to catch one of them do that last year as well. An even bigger one, I think. So he's just about emerged. I wonder whether he's going to get eaten now. I don't think anything's happening. Anyway, we'll come back to these guys later. So it's been quite a while since we last came down to the pond here, and you can see how much the water level has dropped. Last time I was here, this area here was all underwater. You can kind of see where the mud comes all the way up to here. This was the water line. And you can also see, if we look over this way, the grass here is all yellow. It was all green last time we came. It's so dry. We haven't had any rain for a long time. But we can see that there are tadpoles in the pond. There are damselflies flying around, so I don't think it's going to affect anything too much, and maybe at some point in the future we'll have a bit of rain and we'll get some fresh water in here. Okay, so now that our tadpole has been released, it's time to clean out this disgusting tank. You can see a whole load of mosquitoes have hatched out on the back there. Every time I move this tank, clouds of them fly up there. So I really should have done this before they hatched out, but too late now. Anyway, we're going to get rid of this water, get rid of all the remaining larvae that's still swimming around in there. I'm going to get rid of the plants, I'm going to clean up these stones, or maybe even just throw them out. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. But the important thing is I need to clean this tank and completely clear it out, ready for the frogs. Okay then, so now that the tank is clean, we're going to be using the same stuff that we did last time. We've got the moss there and the bark. We're going to set this tank up exactly how we set up the other one, and then we're going to try and catch the frogs and put them inside. So if you want to see how I set this up, I did a video a few episodes ago. I'll try and leave a link or a card up in the corner there, and a link in the description to that video so you can kind of see a bit more about how I set this tank up. So in cleaning out the tank, I have found a bit of a problem. There are quite a lot of crickets that are left over that haven't been eaten, and I've now got crickets all in my sink. I'm going to try and catch as many as I can, but they're not easy to catch. I am trying to catch them, and I'm quickly putting them over into the tank here where the frogs are. But wow, it's difficult. But I'm going to try and save as many. It seems a waste to not try and save all as quick as I can. So anyway, they're all in there right now. They look pretty happy. So I just need to try and catch as many crickets as possible and then clear out that other tank. Okay, so both of them are now done. This one here, I have pulled out the 6 of the smallest frogs that I could find, and I've placed them in this tank. So what we can do is we can split the food up so we can make sure there's not as much competition, so there should be plenty of food to go around. In this one there are, I think there are 8, there may be 8 or maybe 9. They are quite difficult to count because they move around quite a lot. These are the bigger ones in this one. So, but hopefully now that we can split the food evenly, and we can make sure that these little guys will get food without so much competition. That's the main idea. Now, as I said in the previous episode, these are fish tanks, so you may notice these weird kind of things I have on the lids. So the lids here, obviously the fish tanks, they're designed to have holes in the side where you can put in filters and pumps and lights and things. Obviously we don't need any of that stuff for these guys, and these guys are very clever at climbing. They can climb up the side here. You can see one at the corner at the back there. Let's move around. There he is, we can get that focused. There we go, so they can climb up the glass very easily. So they are very good at escaping. I haven't had any escape yet this year, which is pretty good. But yeah, so that's why I've just kind of stuck some cardboard with some holes punched out to allow the air in, and hopefully that should be enough, fills up the gap so they can't actually get out. So yeah, that's what I've done. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all I've got for you this week. I'm pretty happy with this. It's kind of, hopefully, they'll settle into the new houses quite nicely, and we've got them split, so there's less competition. They have to fight less for the food, and it should be good for them. So join me again next week, hopefully, and we'll see how they're settling in, and hopefully, they'll be getting bigger and bigger. So some of them are getting pretty big. You can see over here, there's some nice big ones there. It looks pretty good. Brilliant. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.